Hello everyone, just Goran here, and welcome to a little mini episode of building the Beekse Bergen, because tomorrow the Planet Zoo Barnyard Animal Pack will release, and Frontier was so kind to give me early access, so I figured we'd do a small little Beekse Bergen video, because we do have a new Beekse Bergen animal in the game. It is the Scottish Highland cattle over here that we're looking at, and look at them being absolutely gorgeous over here. So yeah, that does mean we are in the European forest area of the car safari, which is not technically an area I am planning to build. Still am not, even though we got the amazing animals that inhabit it now with the Highland cattle and the red deer as well in the background over there. The only thing missing being the heck cattle that also roam this area. But still, I stand by the fact that I do not plan to build the entire car safari. We are focusing on the walking route of the zoo, so they're here for now, just so we can admire them for a little bit. But the main focus of this video is going to be just a small little update on introducing some of the pieces of the Barnyard Animal Pack into the Beekse Bergen, because we do have a bunch of scenery pieces coming with this DLC, as well as the free update, so we can do some cool stuff with that, I thought. So I've stalled them out over here. We got all sorts of things, like of course the animal signs, which are beautiful as ever, as well as some barnyard themed pieces, including hay bales, some wooden and metal type container things, different types of fences, and some detail items, including some new vegetables. There's not a lot, of course, because it is still an animal pack, but overall it's some nice little additions to the game. Not everything is as useful. There is a bit of a lack of flexi-color in especially these wooden items over here. I was also a little bit bummed out at the fact that there is no standalone gate for this little picket fence over here. They did do it for this gate over here. We got separate posts and gates, but yeah, not for the picket fence. So yeah, the main pieces I'm interested in for this video are the hay bales. We're going to be able to add those to all of our little backstage areas. The tires over here will be great to put in climbing frames. And lastly, actually from the free update, we've got this hedge over here, which will be a great replacement for all the custom hedges that I've made throughout the zoo. So yeah, that's pretty much the goal for now. Let's get started right away and find ourselves our first little backstage area, which is going to be the main backstage over here, where we've got a giant hay storage in the zoo. Alright, there we have it. We got a whole bunch of new hay bales in here. This building itself did not have the circular one, so I have to use that one somewhere else, but I'm pretty happy with how this looks. It's definitely a step up. From a distance it all kind of blends together. It just looks like a stack of boxes, but when you get closer you definitely notice all of that texture, and it's a lot more detailed and pretty freaking great. Another cool thing about these hay bale blocks is that they also have a bunch of like furriness kind of sticking out. So if you drop those kind of into the floor, it actually looks like little bits of hay sticking out on the floor, which in addition to having the bedding around here, really adds that little extra touch there. So pretty happy with that. Let's move on to the next hay bale area, which is over here by the elephant barn. And over here we do have what I think are supposed to be circular hay bales. I'm not sure. I'm going to check my reference and get back to you. They were not, in fact, the round ones. So yeah, just more square bedding in there. Just copy pasted some of the piles I made for the other barn and threw them in here. It does help when you kind of misalign the pieces a little bit to create some more detail. Otherwise it's very repetitive. But yeah, let's also add those over here, and then we're pretty much done with the hay. And there we have it. So we're done with the hay. Really nice upgrade over there. Let's move on with those hedges. There's a bunch of places in the zoo where I'm using them, but mainly this path over here has a ton of these diamond leaf willow hedges all over the place, and I really want to replace those with those new hedge pieces, so let's do that. Alright, there we go. I forgot to add the little keyframe to my thing so I couldn't make the fancy transition, but it's all looking pretty good. I'm really a really big fan of these new hedges. They're just fantastic. So I've actually already gone ahead and added them in a bunch of other places, like around here as well, just throughout, also keeping some of the diamond leaf willows in there because they do add that little bit of extra texture, otherwise it would become a little bit monotonous. But I think we're gonna go right over here now, and we have a bunch more of those diamond leaf willows as bushes that I think would look better with these new ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and transition this one as well. So we are adding the bushes all over the place, and it's bringing in a lot more greenery and just variation. I'm a really big fan of this change. It may be getting a little bit too green in areas like this. I might have to turn it down just a little bit, but in the summer that is kind of what this area looks like, to be frank. And the diamond leaf willow was just getting so overabundant. I mean, I'm using it as ground cover plants, as hedges, as bushes, sometimes as trees. It's just the texture gets repeated way too much around my zoo. So this is a nice way to get rid of at least some of that, and there's even more to come. But while we're working in this area, something I noticed the other day is that the red panda habitat is getting just a little bit dated, especially in the fact that I'm still using mossy rocks as decals. So I just want to real quickly fix that up. There we go, all fixed up using just a bunch of grunge pieces. I actually did a little trick that I like to do where I paint the walls green and then I used gray grunge pieces to make it look like there's moss kind of growing on the top of the wall as well and kind of dripping down over it. Lovely little trick there. So this is all grunge, and then the wall is green, as you can see, and it just leaves that trim of green at the top there. Nice little thing. So ever since the DLC was announced, there was one thing that I was wondering: are we going to just release these domestic animals into the wild? And I just thought I'd check it out, and actually no. If you look at the Highland cattle over here, we have a sell button, whereas normally, if we look at the deer, that would have been the release animal to the wild button. So it's pretty cool that they actually thought of that, and you cannot release the domestic animals into the wild where they would most definitely die. So that's a good move. Also, while we're talking anyway, in the Frontier Unlocked livestream, which as of recording was today, they announced that this is not going to be the final pack. There's at least one more animal pack in the works, so we have that to look forward to in the future. So that's, I feel like that's people's main criticism with this pack, was if this is the last pack, it's going to be a bit of a letdown, and we don't have to worry about that anymore. So I think that's going to ease people's minds a little bit and make them be a lot more happy about this pack, because it is really a fun one. So just one more piece I really wanted to try out, and I don't even have to really do a before and after for this one. We can just put it in there because it's literally a single piece. I just want to put this tire over here instead of this African bead. Oh god, that freezes the game. No, the tire. There we go. And let's also, you know, why not just add a little chain to that so that it's at least connected to something. There we go. Now we've got a much better looking tire hanging in our climbing frame. Really awesome. I'm pretty sure that's actually the only one. The other climbing frames don't really have anything like that, I do believe. So as for the other pieces, there is some things we might be able to use as well, like the water pump. Let's actually check if that looks any good over here. And no, it does not look like I will be able to make that fit very well. That's a bummer. These pieces over here could also be used to maybe make a slightly better cattle grid, although to be honest I'm already pretty happy with the one I got. I don't really see a point in making a replacement for it, even if it uses a lot less pieces. But if you're making a cattle grid yourself, you can definitely use that one. In fact, I highly recommend that you watch Eben's video coming out today, because he is also going to go over the pieces and give you a couple of creative things that you can do with them. So I highly recommend you watch that. I also helped him out by coming up with a few ideas of my own and sharing them with him. So do watch that video if you want to find some creative piece usages. So I can continue placing bushes for quite a while because this entire path is going to need them, but I think you get the picture. I'll probably just do that some other time because sadly I am running really low on time. I did not really anticipate how little time I was going to have this week to actually work on something. I have a lot of things to do for work and other outings. So sadly, that is where I'm going to have to leave it for today. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you will enjoy the Barnyard Animal Pack coming out tomorrow. We are going to be live tonight, streaming a brand new project. Woo! It's an idea I had been dabbling with for a while already, and this pack was kind of perfect for it. So we're gonna start Eco Zoo Lindo. Depending on how much time I have in the coming days to still prepare something for it, we're either gonna start with a completely empty map, or we're gonna start with at least some terraforming already done. But we'll see about that. I hope to see you there. I'll probably be live at 7:30 p.m. my time, so that's Amsterdam time. Hope to see you then. For now, we're gonna end off the video with the happy Scottish Highland over here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!